We are just moments away from President Trump addressing a joint session of Congress tonight for the very first time. It may be the most important policy speech yet of his new administration. But the president also has to measure up to the first addresses of his predecessors. CBS News contributor and Republican strategist Frank Luntz will speak to a group of 25 people in Los Angeles that will take part in a focus group. 12 of them voted for President Trump in the 2016 election. Another 12 voted for Hillary Clinton, and one individual voted for a third-party candidate. They will discuss and reflect on the president's remarks after he speaks. Frank?
Well, you almost heard it over your conversation right there. I've got 20 of them who voted in the election for president, one of them who voted in every other office, but not for president because he didn't like any of the candidates. And they're going to tell us exactly what they want to hear tonight. So tell me, I'm going to do the whole back row. I'm going to start over here. What does Donald Trump need to say to you this evening for you to have confidence that he was the right choice and that he can lead this country?
Immigration reform.
More than anything else?
More than anything else.
Why?
Because we have a lot of undocumented people in this United States, and they need to, if they want to become American citizens, there's laws on the books, and he needs to make it clear.
What does he need to do?
He needs to do something about Obamacare because it's going down the drain, and he needs to do something quickly to fix it.
So you say quickly, how long?
I'd say they've got 3 or 4 months to get it started.
What does he need to do?
Make America great again?
That's a slogan.
No, okay, so make the economics greater. We need more jobs, more opportunities for American citizens.
What does he need to do?
Donald Trump said he was going to be the law and order president. And I want to see how this speech is money for local law enforcement, not necessarily at the federal level, but spending by cities and states.
Is that the job of a president, to be spending on local law enforcement?
There's money available that the federal government already allocates for local law enforcement programs that have been gutted over the last 8 years that need to be replenished by this president.
What does he need to do?
More jobs for everyone.
Do you think he can do it?
Yes.
You have faith in him?
100%.
Why do you have that faith?
Because he's a businessman.
Yes.
And money matters.
Is Donald Trump a successful businessman to you all?
Yes.
No, money matters.
Yes.
No.
Not particularly.
He lost billions of dollars. His casino in Las Vegas was practically a criminal enterprise set up, I believe, to write off billions of dollars so that he would not have to pay taxes, through which he was...
You used the phrase criminal. I'm going to give you a chance to take that back.
I won't do it. Las Vegas wouldn't let him open another casino.
You say
he's too corrupt for Las Vegas, guys.
Okay, so tell me, which is actually a very funny line, tell me what does he need to do so that you won't dislike him so much?
I don't believe it'll happen. I believe he should release his tax returns.
Tonight.
Tonight, I believe he should announce he's going to release his tax returns, and he's going to change. It will reassure me that he is not in debt to Russia and that he is not under Putin's thumb.
That's nonsense.
Thank
You notice that he's got a plane and he's got several buildings.
We have been so brainwashed over the past 8 years. I cannot believe that there's so little sanity and common sense in this country. People are demoralized because Obama destroyed the society as a whole. We need to rebuild our morality that started with Clinton's. Okay,
So how do you
back
do that in a
92.
speech? How do you do that in a speech?
Fulfill his promises.
How can you do that after 1 month?
No, the presidential speech is the announcement of what he's going to do and the framework of his pathway to his presidency. He has been 30 days in office. So far, it's pretty good.
Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
What does he need to do?
I want to see the national debt addressed. There's $200 trillion in unfunded liabilities. You know, everyone has a pet project, both Republicans and Democrats. At the end of the day, no one wants to actually address the economic catastrophe. That's just a pure economic fact for our future, and no one really seems to be too concerned about it.
What does he need to do?
He needs to indicate that he's going to govern in a mature and responsible way and end the current chaotic circus that seems to be the White House.
You think it's chaos?
Oh, absolutely.
He denies that. He says it's a well-oiled machine.
Well, I understand that he says that, but he hasn't even nominated people to significant numbers of undersecretary positions. There's significant leaking and backstabbing among the staff. He needs to get the White House under control, indicate that he's going to govern.
What do you want to hear from him today?
He has to unite the country.
How?
The way he approaches...
This group isn't united.
The way he approaches the Democrats right now, he should try to be a listening voice as a president to the different sectors of the society.
Has he done it so far?
I think no. I think the first thing that he was trying to do was to listen to the Midwest and the blue-collar workers that got him elected. But he has to remember, we have a West Coast, that has been very, very, very segregated from the new way that he wants to govern the United States.
So what do? You've got immigration, you've got transportation and infrastructure, you've got tax reform, you've got the Affordable Health Care Act, you've got budgets, taxes,
Education.
Public, that's your number one issue.
That's my thing. My husband is a teacher, and we have to purchase paper ourselves and other supplies, and that's just in a private school. As well as my cousin is a teacher in Baltimore, and she has to have GoFundMe campaigns just to have supplies for children.
Should the President of the United States be responsible for buying paper for your husband?
Well, that's funny. But he should put more money into education and not just focus on the private side, because everyone cannot afford private school. Everyone cannot afford private school.
So what do you want to hear from him?
I really want him to lay off the media.
Lay off the media.
Yeah, I want him to.
By the way, the camera guys here are all nodding their heads.
I do. I really want him to just let journalism be journalism, and whether he agrees with it or not, let the press have freedom of speech.
Reaction?
But journalists need to start covering both sides.
He's been a polarizing force. He has gone after the media. He's gone after the judiciary. And as a lawyer, I have to tell you, I'm a little upset about that.
You're a lawyer?
Because it's a very important part of our country.
This is important. You're a lawyer.
For people,
You're a lawyer.
I am. Do you want me to leave?
Get out. Actually, no, but I'm going to take you to my gun range. So you guys are already so separated. You already so disagree. There really is no commonality. How do you expect him to bring this country together?
Jobs.
Exactly. Various hate crimes that seem to be rising throughout the country, and it could be global too. And
of all the things he could talk about,
I think that would unite us instead of divide us. So I agree with.
Ma'am, this whole thing about hate crimes, and let's use the Jewish hate crimes that have just started over the past couple weeks. The Jewish community has JDL, Jewish Defense League. Yeah, and JDL has some armed guys that are pretty goddamn rough.
Right.
Why don't you police your own people and deal with this crap? Because it's the same. It's the same thing. No.
JDL is such a minuscule
the same thing.
part of the Jewish community. That's not
the
fair.
same thing with African American churches being burned. If I lived in the South and my church was being attacked, I would get my guys together and we'd make sure our damn church would not be attacked. People cannot keep loading everything on the government. You got to deal with stuff yourself and directly.
I'm just not sure Jewish vigilantism is the right solution. Military desperation.
Hey, the police are not going to be there for you on that. They will be there after the fact. They're not going to be security guards.
Well, I mean, by definition, no one gets.
Right.
You're supposed to protect and serve.
You have to do it yourself.
Indian guys were just shot in Kansas.
Okay, so the president is going to speak to, 50, 60 million people tonight, and you're talking about Jewish, I can't even say the word, vigilantism.
Her issue.
But I said hate crimes in general.
Yeah.
Well, quite frankly, it doesn't matter what he says tonight if the nation is not united, like we're not. He has to speak to that unity. He has to stop inciting his racist base. He has to stop speaking to that.
He's inciting racism.
You're racist?
Yes, I'm saying his racist base.
I'm his base, and you don't even know me.
During the rally, the people that were at his
We're going to have celebratory parade. So you're saying that isn't racist?
The people
and they're hailing Donald Trump. Answer the question. Answer the question. Is
What's
that
your
racist?
question?
The KKK we're going to have a celebratory parade. Is that racist?
The KKK is racist,
Answer
but
the
Donald
question.
Trump isn't.
Answer the question. Right.
people
They're
at
allowed to.
Black Lives Matter can have a
So can the Nazis and so many other bad groups.
Hold on.
It's part of our freedom.
Hold on. I just want to make a point. We got about 2 minutes to go with this conversation. But do you notice the tone? Do you notice the tenor?
Yes.
Do you notice, honestly, the lack of respect towards each other?
Yes.
They're raising great points.
We are a damaged nation.
But
That's why.
say that again.
We are a damaged nation. We have been damaged over the past 8 years and takes time to heal.
8 years. It didn't start 8 years ago. It didn't start 8 years ago.
It started with
It didn't
President
start 8 years
Clinton.
ago.
country was
It
built
started
on.
with Monica
Do that
Lewinsky.
research.
It started with
Do that
corruption.
research.
That Clinton was your
You're saying
idol.
it started 8
That's
years
what it
ago.
started with.
When this country
Yes, that
started,
was your
You're
idol.
saying it started.
Idol.
research.
We have a
Bill
history
Clinton.
of
Slavery
Hold it.
in this country, and it's,
Stop.
you can't ignore it.
Stop. This is for viewers. You just watched America. There were 21 people in this room, and you just watched America. Let us hope that after tonight's speech and democratic response, we'll have a more civil conversation about what really ails America. Back to you.
Frank Luntz with, once again, a very revealing discussion there with Americans.